Welcome back to the channel. My name's Mitch, and this is ChampMind Studios, where we talk about mindset and daily habits from some of the world's most successful people, and we apply some of those habits and skills into our own daily lives and our own daily goals as we look to unleash greatness. And before we get into today's video, which is going to be all about establishing a powerful morning routine that's going to set the framework for you to dominate in the year 2024 and beyond. Before we get into that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's get rolling. So with the new year approaching, everybody's looking to hit that reset button. Everybody's looking to get out a piece of paper or their iPhone and jot down a list of everything that they want to accomplish in the year 2024. All their goals, all their ambitions, all their resolutions. And I think that's great. I think there's power in being intentional with what you want to do, but it all starts with how you get up in the morning. That's going to set the framework for everything you're going to do throughout the day, weeks, months, and even year. But I'm not going to talk down to you guys. I'm not going to speak to you from a tone and a frame point of somebody that is trying to tell you what to do. I'm going to talk to you as a peer because I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys, and I hope you're brutally honest with yourselves. 2023 for me was not that great of a year. It wasn't the worst. It definitely wasn't the worst, but it could have been a lot better. I feel like mentally I fell off the rails a little bit, and a lot of that had to do with getting outside of my morning routine, letting my morning routine basically get destroyed. I went from having structure in my life and being very intentional with my goals to waking up like 5 minutes before work and just rushing to get dressed and rushing to get to work as fast as I can without having any time to get after what I want to get after. So I'm not talking down to you guys. I'm not saying you need to do this and I'm better than you. Listen, I'm just like you guys. But I will tell you that when I had a structured routine, I was at my best. I was unstoppable and I was getting stuff done. And it has nothing to do with motivation. Motivation is part of it. Motivation gets you started. All of you watching this video, you're watching it because you're motivated. All of you that write down goals, that write down, what you want to accomplish tomorrow, next month, throughout the year, you're motivated. But it's what happens when that motivation starts to dim a little bit. It's when the fire starts to dim down. It's discipline that's going to keep you going. Discipline is the most important ingredient in this whole recipe. Without it, we're not going to get anywhere. So we have to build discipline. We have to build a mindset of doing the necessary things on the days that we just don't want to do them. It's easier said than done, but it starts with a structured routine in the morning. So let's get right into it. The very first thing that we're going to do, we're going to go to bed early. And I know that sounds super obvious. Bear with me, guys. We're going to get there. But go to bed early so that you can wake up at least an hour and a half to 2 hours before you normally would. That's going to give you the time. That's going to give you the capacity to do everything else that we're going to lay out here. And it's going to make it a lot easier to get up because let's be honest. What is the hardest thing about setting a new routine in the morning? It's getting up. It's just getting up. You know what I mean? I struggled with that myself. Last year, like I said, my morning routine fell to the wayside. And a lot of that had to do with I started a new position. I had to get to work earlier. And so rather than going to sleep earlier and getting my time clock adjusted so that I can get up on time, I just decided like I'm going to go to sleep at the same time that I normally would. And I struggled to get up. And like I said, I would get up like 10 to 5 minutes before I needed to get to work. And, luckily I live pretty close to where I work. But again, like you don't have much time for anything other than getting up, getting dressed, maybe a quick shower in between and getting to work. So you have to give yourself that time. You have to set that alarm clock. Get that snooze button. Don't even give yourself an option for the snooze. As soon as that first alarm gets up, you pop out of bed and you get after the rest of the day. All right, so we're up. We beat the snooze. We beat the alarm. What's next? Well, I hate to break it to you, and if you're a caffeine addict like me, the first step in this journey is not going to be to rush to the Keurig or rush to the fridge to grab an energy drink. That will come though. Don't worry. We're gonna get our caffeine in. Don't you worry about that. We gonna get our caffeine in. But we're not gonna start the day off with caffeine. The reason for that is when we go to sleep at night over the course of several hours, we lose a lot of fluids and we get dehydrated. So we need to kickstart our metabolism, get some water into our system. So we're gonna drink about 16 to 20 ounces of cold water. And like I said, caffeine's coming soon, but that's gonna come later. Listen, if you want to get some caffeine or black coffee after that, by all means. But for me, the way that I'm going to stick to my morning routine is I'm going to just stick with water at first. And then we're going to get into the workout. Now, depending on how your training routine is currently structured or how close you live to your gym, this could be one of many different things. You could either go for a run in the morning. You can get your lift out of the way in the morning. In my case, my gym is in the same building that I work, and you guys will see like how I have this routine structured. It wouldn't really make sense for me to drive all the way to the gym, lift weights, and then like I'm not gonna be able to do the rest of the things that I have laid out in this routine. So I'm gonna save my lift for the end of the day. But that's just me. Some of you might want to get your heavy lift out of the way first thing in the morning. Some of you might want to go on a long distance run. For me, I want to save my actual real performance-based workout for the end of the day, or at least at some point during the day where I'm going to have the time to be able to focus on it. And I don't want to rush my way through it. So this morning workout for this routine is more so just to get my body woken up, get the blood flowing, wake my mind up, and set the pace for everything else that's going to follow. So what I'm going to do is a body weight calisthenics circuit, and we're going to utilize just 3 exercises: Hindu push-ups, Hindu squats, and some type of ab exercise, whether it's crunches, sit-ups, some type of plank. I'll probably mix and match, given the day and change things up. But I'm going to stick to those 2 main exercises. And I know what you guys are thinking. You're probably like, what is a Hindu push-up? What are Hindu squats? What is this nonsense that this guy's talking about? Is he just making things up? So let me explain. When I was wrestling in high school, I was trying to find new ways to develop strength, to develop explosive power for wrestling. And I was a skinny kid in high school. I wrestled at like 125 pounds, and I never cut any weight. So all of my opponents outweighed me by like at least 10 pounds, maybe a little more. And I was getting dominated. At that particular time in my life, I didn't know much about lifting weights. I did have access to a gym, but I just didn't have the knowledge that I have now. But I was training in martial arts since I was 4 years old. So I was always pretty good at bodyweight calisthenics and plyometrics, push-ups, sit-ups, things like that. So I was trying to find new unconventional methods to get stronger at wrestling. And I came across this book called Combat Conditioning by a guy named Matt Fury. And this guy, he was a wrestler and a martial artist, and he developed this program where he swore off of just 3 exercises: Hindu push-ups, Hindu squats, and a wrestler's back bridge. And this guy said, like, all you need to do are those 3 exercises and nothing else. And you will be like the most dominant fighter in the world, and you're going to be, have unstoppable conditioning, and that's all you need to do. You don't need to do anything else. And because of that, he got a lot of flack. A lot of people in the martial arts community and the fitness community called him a fraud, said his methods didn't make any sense, that they were even dangerous, some of the movements. And I still decided to try it for myself because there were a lot of positive reviews too. And I'm one of those guys, man, like I can't knock something until I try it. And I will tell you, I got a lot stronger, and I actually gained significant amount of muscle mass doing that program. Now, I won't sit here and tell you that that's all you need to do, and you just stick to those 3 exercises, and you don't have to lift weights, you don't have to do anything else, and you'll, become this beast. I'm not going to say that, but I do think the Hindu push-up and Hindu squat in particular are 2 great, underrated exercises. And I've never gotten injured doing them. A lot of people say that they're unsafe. I've never gotten an injury doing them, and I've been doing them for like almost 15 years. So if you're curious as to what a Hindu squat and a Hindu push-up, what those movements actually look like, I will put a link in the description down below so you can check that out and see for yourself. For me, it's more so just kind of getting back to my roots, incorporating a little bit of a martial arts feel to this morning routine. Again, my actual real, strength-based, performance-based workout's going to be saved for the end of the day. Now, having said that, this is not going to be an easy workout by any means because, again, we're doing about 3 sets from anywhere to 20 to 50 reps with minimal rest. So this is not going to be a walk in the park at all. All right, so now that we've gotten the workout out of the way, now we move on to the actual hard part. The actual hard part of this routine, which is going to be, wait for it, a cold plunge or a freezing cold shower. Some of you are shitting your pants already. Some of you are like, what the hell? There's no way I'm doing that. This guy's crazy. Hear me out. Earlier in this video, I talked about the importance of building discipline, how discipline is our guide to everything we want to accomplish this year. Without it, we're not going to get anything done. There is no better way to build discipline than every single day putting yourself through freezing cold temperatures where your body is screaming at you to jump out, and you force yourself to stay in there to withstand the pain to where you build up a tolerance for it. You stay in longer and longer each and every single day, and you come out of that shower, you come out of that cold plunge feeling absolutely rejuvenated, feeling like there is nothing that can stop you, feeling like you're going to go out there and whoop some ass, right? I could go on and on about all the different benefits, medical benefits of cold showers, how it improves your circulation, how it increases your alertness throughout the day, and all of those things are true. But the biggest factor into why the cold shower is probably the most important aspect of this entire routine is the discipline building aspect of it. Without the cold shower, without forcing yourself to do this every single day, the rest of the shit isn't going to matter. And I apologize for my French, but I'm being real with you. Without this, nothing else is going to matter. And ordinarily, I would say start out with a cold shower. Start your day with it. But I think it's going to make sense to start with the workout, get your body temperature up first, and then jump in and do the cold plunge after that, because it's also going to help with muscle recovery too. Now, the best way to do this is you start with 3 minutes. If you can withstand 3 minutes, then the next day add another minute, and another minute, and another, until eventually you're taking freezing cold showers that are going to last anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes, and you really do come out feeling amazing. I mean, if you've never done this before, if you've never taken a cold plunge or a freezing cold shower, you're in for a treat, because it does suck in the beginning. Like I said, this is the hardest thing you're going to do every single day. This is by far going to be the hardest thing you're going to do, but it's also going to have you feeling the best. You'll come out feeling like a totally different person, unstoppable, ready to crush anything that's put in front of you. And trust me, there's, like I said, the mindset of this. You come out, you withstand those freezing cold temperatures. There's nothing that you can face in that day that's going to be more painful than that, right? And you can push through it. Now, once you've gotten the cold plunge out of the way, you're going to move on to the second to last step in this unstoppable morning routine, and that's going to be meditation. And what we're going to do is we're going to find a quiet place to sit down, either on the ground, cross-legged, or on a couch or a chair. And we're going to take about 10 minutes to meditate. And in those 10 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to, whatever your goal is, whatever you want to accomplish, either that day, that week, month, or the year, I want you to assume the feeling of already having accomplished it. So let's say your goal is you want to pack on 20 pounds of muscle. When you meditate, I want you to get into the frame of mind, the mindset that you've already done it. It's already yours. Or if your goal is, you want to get that promotion, or you want to ace an exam, whatever it is, it's already yours. It's already yours. You assume the feeling. You assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And some of you might be thinking to yourself, well, this sounds like some law of attraction BS. And listen, I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, but not in the way that some people, misinterpret what that is, misinterpret what manifestation is. It's not magic. It's not, you can't just sit there and think you're going to be a millionaire and all of a sudden money just comes out of nowhere, right? It doesn't work like that. But when you get into your subconscious mind and you trick your subconscious mind into thinking that you've already won, you already have it, your actions are going to follow. And on the flip side of that, if you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't lose that weight, I can't pass this exam. I'm not going to get that promotion. I'm not good enough. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's the message that you're giving your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is responsible for about 80% of everything that you get out of life. And we don't even realize it. We don't even realize how powerful our subconscious is. That's where meditation comes into the play here. That's where meditation comes into it. Now, what I like to do, and there's so many different videos out there for this, but when I meditate, I like to put on either a guided meditation video where you have a narrator that's, walking you through every single breath, telling you what you should be visualizing, really kind of helping you, guide you through that process, which is incredibly helpful when you're starting out because, like I said, our brains are going a mile a minute. So those type of videos really help out. And if I can recommend somebody, I recommend you guys look up Jason Stevenson. His YouTube channel is phenomenal for stuff like that. But there's also days where I just want to listen to my own thoughts. And what I'll do is I'll put on just some kind of a meditative music video on YouTube. There's tons of them. Some kind of relaxing, musical track or just, ocean sounds or something like that. That really kind of helps me dial in, sit still, and get into that present moment. So highly recommend doing that. If you're one of those psychos that can just sit there and meditate without any of that, who can just sit down without any kind of guide or music playing, then hey, you're much more you're much stronger willed mentally than I am. So more power to you. But that's what I like to do. All right. So the last step in the unstoppable morning routine. And this is the part that the caffeine lovers have been waiting for because we're going to get our caffeine. We're going to get a cup of coffee or we're going to get our energy drink of choice and we're going to pull out a book. And for however much time we have left before we need to get to work, we're going to sit there, we're going to sip on our caffeine and we're going to read our book. Or if you're not a reader, because some people aren't, put on a podcast or put on some kind of TV show or YouTube video. Something deliberate though, something that is going to inspire you, that's going to get your juices flowing, that's going to get you prepared to take on the rest of the day. Now, me personally, man, I love to read. It's one of my passions, anything to do with leadership development. I'm a big Simon Sinek fan. Sports psychology, I just finished reading Good to Great to Unstoppable, and that fired me up. That was a phenomenal read. Anything to do with building winning cultures, bringing out the best in people, things like that. And I want to start my day off reading about things like that, reading inspirational stories from people that have coached, top of the line athletes or have built winning cultures, because that's going to make me a better leader when I get to work. So for me, that's the final cherry on the top of this whole morning routine Sunday. And added the caffeine in there because, listen, I love caffeine. I'm not going to lie. And it helps me focus. I know it helps a lot of other people focus too. So that was just an added bonus. But guys, that is the unstoppable morning routine. Just to recap it, the very first thing that we're going to do is what? We're going to go to sleep early the night before. We're going to get up as early as possible, get up at least an hour to an hour and a half earlier than we normally would. We're going to go ahead, we're going to hydrate. We're going to get at least 16 to 20 ounces of water. Then we're going to work out about 15, 20 minutes. We're going to do the cold plunge. We're going to try to last as long as we can, but start with 3 minutes and work your way up. Then we're going to meditate, get ourselves dialed into the present moment, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? And then we're going to close things out. We're going to get some coffee. We're going to get an energy drink, and we're going to read a book for the next 10 to 15 minutes or however much longer we have before we got to go to work. And then, guys, we're going to go to work, and we're going to whoop some ass. We're going to dominate the day. There is absolutely nothing that's going to stand in front of us that day. So let's get after it. Nothing but tiger energy in 2024. We got this. So guys, if you like this video, please be sure again to hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. And until next time, let's unleash greatness. Boom!